Good afternoon and welcome to the Boulevard in Hull for this Slalom Lager Championship game between Hull and Warrington. The sides for today's game: the Hull side at 1, Gary Kemble; at 2, Michael Brand; 3, Gary Schofield; 4, Stuart Vass; at 5, Dane O'Hara; 6, Fred Acoy; at 7, Andy Gascoigne; 8, Lee Crooks; at 9, Lee Jackson; 10, Trevor Skerritt; at 11, Carl Arnott; 12, Neil Puckering; and 13, Wayne Proctor. Substitutes are James Luluai and Phil Edmonds. The Warrington side is 1, Paul Ford; 2, Brian Carbett; at 3, Paul Cullen; 4, Ronnie Dwayne; 5, Mark Foster; 6, Paul Bishop; at 7, Andy Gregory; 8, Les Boyd; 9, Kevin Tamati; 10, Bob Jackson; 11, Gary Sanderson; 12, Mark Roberts; and 13, Billy McGinty. Substitutes are Steve Peters and Tommy Gittins. The referees, Mr Tennant of Castleford; his touch judges are Mr Bradley and Mr Turgoose. So Les Boyd in the middle of the pitch, about to be joined by Lee Crooks, the two captains, assisted by the Hull mascot. So the teams will swap round. Warrington will be playing from right to left, playing in the white with the primrose and blue band and the white shorts. Hull in the black and white irregular hoops and the white shorts. And it'll be Warrington to start. Paul Bishop to get this game underway. And he kicks deep. Well taken though by Stuart Vass. Stopped short of his own 25. Lee Jackson is acting halfback. Sends it on to Lee Crooks. Jackson once more. And Warrington penalised, offside. So the first free kick of the game will go to Hull. And they elect to tap. Crooks takes the tap. Trevor Skerritt. Jackson once more. Neil Puckering. Well tackled though by Bob Jackson. Carries on and makes ground into the Warrington half of the field. Lee Jackson is acting halfback. Sends it on to Gascoigne. Gascoigne to Acoy. On to Lee Crooks. Crooks tries to get the ball away but brought down in midfield. Jackson once more sends it left. Trevor Skerritt brought down on the halfway line. Fred Acoy on to Crooks. Crooks selects the kick. Comes off a Warrington player. Brian Carbett comes back. And it's brought down by Michael Brand. Ronnie Dwayne will take this one. Goes himself from the play of the ball. Straightens up. Tamati this time hands it on to Gregory. Gregory on to Les Boyd. Les Boyd charges in. He's brought down by Neil Puckering. Tamati once more on to Gregory. Gregory goes back. On to Brian Carbett. Carbett faced by Brand once more. Brought down on this near touchline. Tamati's acting halfback. Once again has it on to Andy Gregory. Gregory with the kick. Gary Kemble goes for it and picks it up. Coming out of his own 25. Brought down though by Gary Sanderson. Jackson once more hands it on to Puckering. 3-1 players though in the tackle, bring him down short of his own 25. Jackson once more. Carl Arnott. Lee Crooks once again. And now Fred Acoy and Andy Gregory have a little argument in the middle of the field. The referee gives the free kick to Hull. Against Andy Gregory for pushing Fred Acoy away. And Hull have another free kick. Gary Schofield puts the ball into touch, sets Hull up with the ball once more. Jackson will take it. Skerritt, he's well tackled over by Tamati and Jackson. Jackson on to Wayne Proctor. Wayne Proctor stops short of the halfway line. Jackson once again goes himself, looks for the gap. Well tackled though by Bob Jackson. Andy Gascoigne onto Fred Okoye. Okoye onto Crooks. Crooks juggles it, carries on, and Crooks now with a break. And the referee is going to penalise Warrington as Lee Crooks was through. Had Fred Okoye on his left, but he was tackled off the ball. And Gary Schofield puts the ball into touch inside the Warrington 25 and sets them up now on the attack. Trevor Skerritt goes in. Still going, Hull now pressing. In the Warrington 25, it goes on. Chance here now for Wayne Proctor, but he stops just short. Fred Okoye gets the ball away. Warrington then under pressure. Lee Jackson will take this one, sends it out left. Crooks. Schofield. He's well stopped by Paul Bishop and Gary Sanderson. Goes left again. Fred Okoye with a little kick. Paul Ford's underneath it. And takes it well. Well taken there by Paul Ford under pressure. Paul Ford taking that well under pressure from Lee Jackson as Bishop drops out. Gary Kemble will take this one. And will make ground deep inside the Warrington half once more. Finally straightens up but slips. Finally brought down by Mark Roberts. So Trevor Skerritt being brought down on the Warrington 25. Lee Jackson. Carl Arnott. Lee Crooks once again. Shows the ball and finds the gap once again. On to Andy Gascoigne. Andy Gascoigne though just brought down by Billy McGinty and Andy Gregory. Once again it's Lee Crooks. Lee Crooks still brought down by Mark Robertson, Ronnie Dwayne this time. But Hull having the early play in these opening minutes. Fred Okoye. Fred Okoye with the kick. Paul Ford comes for it once again. Takes it well. And he's tackled. He's touching goal. And Warrington will have to drop out once again. So the early pressure being put on Warrington by Hull. And Paul Bishop drops out once more. Gary Kemble once again takes it safely. Lee Jackson this time. Trevor Skerritt this time. Tries to get the ball away, but well tackled by Mark Roberts. Lee Jackson's acting halfback. A nice slip pass there, Lee Crooks. The ball goes loose, finally taken by Andy Gascoigne. Fred Okoye once more, hands it on to Carl Arnott, and that is a forward pass and a scrum down. So scrum down just inside the Warrington 25, which Andy Gregory will feed. Puts the ball in and comes out on the Warrington side, Andy Gregory. So Warrington in possession. Tamati will take it, hands it on to Mark Roberts. Tamati once again, this time it's Les Boyd. Les Boyd knocks off one man, gets the ball away. Gregory once again, on to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop finds the gap, now Paul Bishop's away. He moves ground inside the whole half, he's got plays up. He gets Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne though just can't take the pass. Carver picks it up and knocks the ball on. What a nice break there from Paul Bishop. His pass not taken though by Ronnie Dwayne. And that will be a scrum down. Gascoigne will feed. Hull in possession, goes blindside, stopped though by Sanderson. Skerritt onto Okoye. Fred Okoye straightens up. Well tackled though by Mark Roberts and Paul Bishop. Lee Jackson will take this one. Onto Skerritt, goes behind players. Finally has to be picked up by Wayne Proctor. So over on that far side, Hull in possession. Neil Puckering being brought down by Paul Cullen. Goes out with Lee Crooks. Crooks with the kick. That looks a good one. And this is just beating Paul Ford. Goes into touch over on that far side for a scrum down just inside the Warrington half. Gregory will feed. And the referee not satisfied with that scrum. So Gregory will put the ball in once more. And is penalised for feeding. Gives Hull the free kick, which Gary Schofield will take. Starting to place the ball. And a safe kick from Gary Schofield. So Hull on the attack inside the Warrington half. Lee Jackson will take it. Hands it on to Trevor Skerritt. So Wayne Proctor gets the ball away. Callan finally brought down. Goes right this time. A break from Lee Jackson there, well spotted. Goes right again with Lee Crooks. Crooks once again with the kick to the corner, but that will be too far. And Warrington will have a tap from their own 25. Les Boyd takes it. Knocks off one man, gets it away to Tamati. Tamati back to Gregory. Gregory finds the gap and he's away. Gregory now away. Gets the ball away to Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop back inside to Gary Sanderson. Gary Sanderson finally brought down. Good break there from Gregory onto Bishop. Paul Bishop this time onto Andy Gregory. Gregory finds the gap once more. Gregory's away. A chance here. Cuts it inside. Still going. Finally gets it on to Matt Foster. And Matt Foster loses the ball. It goes loose. Picked up by Andy Gascoigne. And Hull back in possession, midway inside the 25. Trevor Skerritt brought down by Sanderson. Lee Jackson's acting halfback. Good run there by Carl Arnott. Jackson once more onto Okoye. Okoye onto Crooks. Crooks though brought down. Crooks plays it to himself. Brought down once more. Sixth tackle this time for Hull. Gascoigne will take it. Plays it on to Fred Okoye. Okoye with the kick. Comes off Jackson. Les Boyd will have to go back and get this one. Dives on it safely. Gets the ball away to Paul Ford. Paul Ford. But he's tackled by Carl Arnott. Tamati a long pass onto Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne. He's stopped by Schofield. And Puckering. Tamati goes himself. Gets the ball away to Carbett. Carbett onto Bishop. Bishop back to McGinty. McGinty finally has to straighten up and is caught in possession. This time Les Boyd takes it. He's pushed back by 3 Hull players. Paul Bishop, that's in halfback. Sends it back to Paul Ford. Ford with the kick. Michael Brand misses it. Gary Kemble picks it up. Kemble caught by Brian Carbett and Ronnie Dwayne. Michael Brand goes himself on the play of the ball. Stopped though by Roy Dwayne, loses the ball. And Jackson retrieves it for Hull. Plays it to Gascoigne, Gascoigne to Skerritt. Skerritt onto Fredecoy, Fredecoy, Crooks, a nice break here now. Carl Arnott. Vars had a break here now for Dane O'Hara. O'Hara still going, finally having to be brought down by Mark Foster and Paul Bishop. Good break there from Dane O'Hara. Gascoigne this time onto Fredecoy, Fredecoy onto Crooks. Crooks, a nice pass on there to Neil Puckering. Puckering still going, gets the ball away to Gascoigne. Gascoigne finally brought down by McGinty, and the touch judge is on. Mr. Turgoose. So Mr. Turgoose, linesman from that far side. Penalties, it looks like Bob Jackson, and gives the free kick to Hull. Gascoigne takes the tap, hands it on to Crooks. Crooks, stopped by Les Boyd. Jackson onto Okoye. Neil Puckering finally brought down. Jackson goes himself. Gascoigne once more. Fred Okoye, Okoye with the kick through once again. Hits the post, goes loose, and finally Paul Ford. And the referee comes across and gives the free kick to Warrington. Paul Bishop. Paul Bishop puts the ball into touch. Tamati takes it himself. Bob Jackson will take it. Goes himself. Andy Gregory takes it this time. Onto McGinty. McGinty goes forward. Takes 3 Hull players to stop him. Gregory's acting half-back once again. Sends it on to Bishop. Bishop with the kick. Kemble, and that's a good kick from Bishop. Sending Kemble back, stops in the mud. Kemble picks it up, faced by Mark Roberts. And Mark Roberts brings him down. Michael Brand goes himself from the play of the ball. Once again, Mark Roberts brings him down with the assistance of Bob Jackson. Lee Jackson on to Lee Crooks. Crooks to Gascoigne. Gascoigne though well tackled though by Billy McGinty. Lee Jackson once again. Good run there from Carl Arnott. This time it goes on to Crooks. Crooks onto Okoye. Okoye, Schofield. But good tackle from Ray Dwayne. 6th tackle for Hull. Fred Okoye with the kick. Brian Carbett takes it. Brought down by Michael Brand on the halfway line. Tamati on to Mark Roberts. Roberts. And loses the ball. And it's picked up by Lee Crooks. So Jackson this time on to Gascoigne. Gascoigne straightens up. Brought down though by Bob Jackson. Jackson once again. Carl Arnott. Once again, another good run. Jackson once again. Gascoigne. Crooks. Onto Okoye. Okoye though well tackled by Tamati. And Boyd and being pushed back. Gascoigne. Crooks once again looking to kick. Little chip going through. And goes into touch. From the kick from Lee Crooks. So the scrum down just outside the 1-25, which Andy Gregory will feed. Puts the ball in, comes out on the Hull side. Gascoigne brought down by Gregory, and a free kick to Hull. So Gary Schofield puts the ball into touch once again. It sets Hull up on the attack once more. Lee Jackson will take it. Trevor Skerritt makes ground towards that Warrington line. Strong run coming in there from Neil Puckering. Finally being pushed back. Jackson. Running around, move, it comes onto Crooks. Crooks gets the ball away, goes loose, bounces over the line. And that will be a knock on and a scrum down. So Andy Gregory puts the ball in. And a penalty to Warrington. Leg up in the scrum against Lee Jackson. Bishop. And that's a good kick from Paul Bishop. So Tamati will take this one. Hands it on to Les Boyd. Boyd charges in, knocks off one man, gets it back to Tamati. Tamati on to Bishop. Bishop takes it well. Tamati once more. Hands it on to Jackson. Jackson makes ground inside the Hull half before he's brought down. Goes on to Boyd once more. Boyd gets the ball away, but McGinty just can't take the pass. And that will be a free kick to Hull, offside. Once again, Hull decide to tap. Andy Gascoigne takes a quick one. Lee Jackson will take it. Goes himself, looking for the gap, gets away, and Lee Jackson's over the grave. He's got Paul Ford in front of him. Good tackle though by Paul Ford. Good break though from Lee Jackson. Gascoigne drops the ball. And that is a scrum down. So halfway through this first half, Hull 0, Warrington 0. Most of the play though being inside the Warrington half. Gregory to feed. And Warrington ball, Gregory comes away from the scrum, finds the gap once again. Finally having to be brought down by Fred Okoye. This time it's Les Boyd. Boyd straightens up, looks to get the ball away, but three Hull players bring him down. Paul Cullen this time. It's acting half-back, sends it on to Gregory and offside. Penalises Trevor Skerritt, and Warrington have the free kick. Paul Bishop comes over, left-footed, and another good kick from Paul Bishop, setting Warrington now up on the attack. Tamati will take it, hands it on to Bob Jackson. Jackson storms in, playing now inside the Hull 25. Tamati will take it, hands it on to Les Boyd. Tamati once again waiting. This time McGinty goes in. Warrington inching closer to that Hull line. Goes left this time with Gregory. Gregory onto Mark Roberts. Mark Roberts looking for the gap. He's going for the try. As there. And Mark Roberts opens the scoring. The first try of the game going to Mark Roberts. Nicely made by Andy Gregory. And Warrington take the lead 4 points to 0.
Try scorer for Warrington, number 12, Mark Roberts.
So Warrington take the lead with the Mark Roberts try. So Paul Bishop to try and convert the Mark Roberts try. So Paul Bishop, left-footed, it curls in nicely, and he's in off the post. A nice kick from Paul Bishop.
Number 6, Paul Bishop.
Makes the score Hull 0, Warrington 6. So 22 minutes gone in this first half, and Warrington leading 6 points to 0. Ronnie Dwayne picks this one up, gets away from Fred Acoy nearly. Fred brings him down. Gregory hands it on to Bob Jackson. Samity from the plate of the ball, hands it on to Les Boyd. Boyd juggles with it. And Hull back in possession. Jackson, nicely taken though, Fred Acoy. Lee Jackson will take it. Hands it on to Andy Gascoigne. Gascoigne though, good tackle by Bob Jackson. Lee Jackson once again, goes right this time, Chris Arnott. Arnott though, nice tackle by Kevin Samity and Andy Gregory. Lee Jackson once again, this time Neil Puckering. Puckering though, well stopped by Ronnie Dwayne and Andy Gregory. Gascoigne this time onto Acoy. Dwayne propped up, and that's the 6th tackle, and that is Warrington in possession from the turnover. Goes on to Les Boyd. Boyd straightens up. Samity from the play of the ball, hands it on to Gregory. Gregory jinking about, looking for the gap. Samity once more. Reece Anderson. This time McGinty. McGinty though well tackled by Neil Puckering. Samity once more, onto Gregory, to Bishop, back to Gregory, on dummies, gets the ball back, Bishop picks it up, throws the ball back, chance now here, Billy McGinty looking for the gap, just brought down, gets back up, still going, inside the Hull 25 before he's brought down, 6th tackle. So 6th tackle now, just inside the Hull 25, Samity, Bishop, sets himself up for the drop goal on the floor though, poor effort, Mark Foster comes in quickly. The ball goes loose, and offside given against Mark Foster. Gives Hull the free kick. So Gary Schofield puts the ball into touch over on that far side. Hull in possession. Jackson will take it. Trevor Skerritt. Good tackle there from Les Boyd and Bob Jackson on Neil Puckering. This time it goes left. The ball taken finally by Jackson. This time it's Lee Crooks. Crooks stopped by Sanderson. Jackson takes it onto Acoy. Acoy with the kick through. Nicely taken by Jackson. Jackson finally brought down by Stuart Vass. Gregory. Sanderson. Tamty once again has it on to Boyd. Boyd knocks off one man, still going. Gets the ball to Tamity. Tamity now's got a break, has it on to Dwayne. Dwayne takes it nicely. Brian Carver, but just couldn't take the pass. Had the line at his mercy, but the pass was fumbled.
Shouldn't have had that then.
And Hull making a substitution. Phil Edmonds comes on and Lee Crooks will leave the field. So a scrum down midway side, the Hull 25. Gascoigne will feed. Hull in possession. Gascoigne still going, finally brought down by Gary Sanderson. First touch for Phil Edmonds. Jackson this time, a poor pass. Having to be picked up by Fred Acoy. And Acoy nicely tackled by Gary Sanderson. Lee Jackson on to Skerritt. Skerritt once again, well tackled. Ronnie Dwayne and Kevin Tamati. Arnott. So 6 tackle for Hull in midfield. Goes on to Phil Edmonds. McCoy, long pass out, Dane O'Hara. And O'Hara is brought down. And that is the 6th tackle. And that, the scrum down over on that far side, Dane O'Hara in touch. So, Gregory. So, the front rows meet once more. Gregory feeds and is penalised. And Hull have the free kick. Schofield once again puts the ball into touch. So set move now. Goes on to Skerritt. Lee Jackson goes himself on the play the ball, looks for the gap. Carl Arnott, well tackled over by Jackson. And the touch judge is on. Mr. Bradley. Play carries on. And Mr. Bradley comes onto the field. And Mark Roberts, it looks like, is being called across by the referee, Mr. Tennant of Castleford. And Warrington penalised. And Hull have the chance to open their account. So Gary Schofield directly in front of the posts. Comes up and puts the ball safely through.
Penalty goal for number 3, Gary Schofield.
And Hull pull 2 points back. It's Hull FC 2, Warrington 6. So Warrington will restart with Paul Bishop. Kicks deep. Michael Brand knocks the ball on. So Warrington with a chance now, if they can get this ball from this scrum, to put Hull under pressure. An important scrum for both sides after Michael Brand knocks on and Gregory will feed. Puts the ball in, comes out on the wedge side, Bishop. Bishop onto Dwayne, back to Bishop. Bishop looks for the gap and finds it. Gets the ball on to Paul Cullen. Paul Cullen stopped short of the line by Dane O'Hara. From the play the ball, Sanderson just stopped though. Hand on his back. And that would be a scrum down. Gascoigne puts the ball in. Puts the ball in again, comes out on the wedge side. Gregory looking for the gap. Still going. And pushed into touch. So once again another scrum down over on that far side. Gascoigne puts the ball in once more. And the scrum will reform once more. So Gascoigne puts the ball in again, comes out and goes blindside. Dane O'Hara will take this one. And the free kick to Hull. And another 10 yards for Torkin. So Hull, a chance to make a few more yards with Gary Schofield. Let's take this free kick. Schofield. And it looks a poor kick. Paul Ford takes it nicely. Comes infield, still going. So Warrington in possession. Tamati hands it on to Gregory. Gregory. Bishop took it well. Good tackle by Fred Acoy. Gregory once again goes himself, looks for the gap and finds it once again. This time it's Tamati, sends it right on to Paul Bishop. Bishop to Sanderson. Sanderson finds the gate. Sanderson still going. Good break there from Gary Sanderson. Warrington now on the attack. Tamati hands it on to Bishop. Bishop to Gregory. Gregory, nice pass out. A chance here for Les Boyd. He's going for the corner. He goes back inside. And a try to Les Boyd. Les Boyd there powers through to score in the corner. And makes the score Warrington 10, Hull FC 2.
Try scored for Warrington, number 8, Les Boyd.
So Les Boyd scores Warrington's second try. Takes them into a 10 points to 2-0 lead. And Paul Bishop once again with a difficult kick on this near side to the left of the posts. So Paul Bishop once again comes up left-footed, but this time it goes to the left of the posts. So 5 minutes remaining. Hull 2, Warrington 10 in this first half. So Gary Schofield to restart. Safely taken by Mark Roberts. And Tamati will take this one. Sanderson looks for the gap once more. Just Phil Edmonds catches his legs as he's going through. Tamati once again hands it on to Gregory. Gregory once again on to Boyd. Boyd back to Bishop. Bishop to McGinty. McGinty on to Cullen. Cullen still going on to Dwayne. Dwayne now he's got space. Still going. That gets away from one tackle. Still going. Gets away from Michael Brad. Gets out to Cullen. Cullen on this near side. Great play there from the wire. Sending play inside the Hull 25. Tamati this time. Hands it on to Les Boyd. Les Boyd on to Bishop. Bishop cuts back inside. Finally caught in possession. Tamati from the play the ball. Goes himself. Hands it on to Gregory. Gregory gets the ball away. Paul Cullen. Cullen straightens up. Tamati throws it away. Gregory with the kick through. Matt Foster's going for it in that corner. It bounces. And Foster's diving effort unsuccessful. And the ball goes dead. And Hull have a tap from their own 25. Fred Acoy then takes the tap. Hands it on to Trevor Skerritt. Gascoigne this time. Carl Arnott, well tackled by Paul Bishop and Ronnie Dwayne. Lee Jackson this time, on to Gascoigne. Gascoigne goes himself, looks at the gap, but meets Les Boyd and Gary Sanderson. Jackson sends it left with Acoy. Good tackle though from Mark Roberts. Gascoigne once more. Trevor Skerritt. Zone 6 tackle for Hull. Fred Okoye with the kick. Looks a good one. Matt Foster though is there. Takes it safely. And brought down by Fred Okoye. Paul Bishop takes this one from the play the ball. Hands it on to Paul Ford. Paul Ford straightens up. Brought down by Fred Okoye and Phil Edmonds. Tamati onto Gregory. Gregory looks for the gap and fires it again. Gregory away onto Les Boyd. Boyd knocks one man off, still going, hands it onto Dwayne. Dwayne charges through. Nice break again from Warrington. Ryan Dwayne finally being brought down by Gary Kemble. Les Boyd onto Gregory once more, but this time Gregory can't take the pass and knocks the ball on. And a scrum down. So scrum down just outside the Hull 25. Andy Gascoigne puts the ball in, it comes out. Paul Bishop picks it up for Warrington. Straightens up, gets the ball away. A chance now here for Sanderson. Brought down though by Gary Kemble. Billy McGinty this time. Hands it on to Gregory once more. Graham makes a few yards before he's brought down. Tamati hands it on to Bob Jackson. Once again Jackson makes a few yards, inching closer to that Hull line. This time it's Les Boyd. Boyd necks off one man. The ball, no, just couldn't get this pass out. Tamati to Gregory. Gregory dummies, still going. Couldn't get the pass away. 6 tackle. Tamati from the play the ball, hands it on to Paul Bishop. Bishop with the kick. Goes for it himself. Goes loose and finally it's Phil Edmonds who has to punch the ball clear. And in fact, there goes the half-time hoot up. And at half-time, it's Hull FC 2, Warrington 10. Tries for Warrington coming from Les Boyd and Mark Roberts. 1 conversion from Paul Bishop. Hull's 2 points. A Gary Schofield penalty. So as the teams going at half-time, the score, Hull FC 2, Warrington 10. Warrington return for this second half, leading by 10 points to 2. Tries from Mark Roberts and Les Boyd, 1 conversion from Paul Bishop. Hull's points coming from a Gary Schofield penalty. Warrington, no substitutions made at half time. Still waiting for Hull to take the field.
Yes, well, we'll get us round
Fighting amongst themselves.
And finally the Hull FC team do reappear for the second half. So it'll be Hull who will restart the game. At the moment losing by 10 points to 2, and Gary Schofield gets the second half underway. Paul Bishop takes it safely and hands it on to Matt Foster. Matt Foster, he's brought down. Tamati, trying to play the ball, takes it himself. And 3 Hull players are there to stop him. Gregory this time's acting halfback. Sends it left on to Bob Jackson. Tamsey hands it on to Boyd. Boyd looks for the gap. Brought down low by Trevor Skerritt. Tamsey once again to Gregory. And the referee penalises Les Boyd for not playing the ball correctly. And Gary Schofield puts the ball into touch and sets them up in the early minutes of the second half on the attacking side of 125. Jackson as it on to Trevor Skerritt. Skerritt well tackled by Bob Jackson. Lee Jackson for Hull, but loses the ball and nicely spotted there from Les Boyd. Spotted that very nicely as the Hull had no acting half. By this time it's Gregory looking for the gap, but well tackled. This time it's Sanderson. Clears his 25. Tamati this time. And offside against Gary Schofield, and Andy Gascoigne gives Warrington the free kick. Warrington have an injury at the moment to Bob Jackson, as Paul Bishop puts that ball safely into touch. So Warrington just a couple of yards inside their own half. Les Boyd beats one tackle, finally having to be brought down by Andy Gascoigne. Tamati on to Gregory. Gregory dummies onto Mark Roberts. Mark Roberts sets 3 Hull players to stop him. Tamati sends it left onto Bishop. Bishop onto Sanderson. Tamati once more. Out to Andy Gregory. Gregory looks for the gap once more, finds it. Well tackled on by Lee Jackson. This time it's on to Bishop. Bishop back to Cullen. Cullen was caught. And that's a 6th tackle for Warrington. Goes on to Bishop. Bishop with the kick. And nicely taken as a Blake here now. Well tackled though by Paul Ford and Paul Cullen. On Carl Arnott, but Dane O'Hara. Andy Gascoigne hands it on to Fred Okoye. Okoye, Proctor. Proctor knocks 2 men off, still going. Hull once again over that far side. Neil Puckering. He's held by Mark Roberts. Plays the ball. Gascoigne. Skerritt back to Gascoigne onto Okoye. Schofield did well to take it. Nicely tackled by Paul Bishop. Gascoigne once more sends it left onto Fred Okoye and offside against Andy Gregory. And Paul Cullen. And Gary Schofield puts the ball into touch and sets Hull now up on the attack. Looking for the quick score after half-time to put themselves back into this game. Jackson will take it, hands it on to Trevor Skerritt. Skerritt though tackled by Jackson. Hull then. Phil Edmonds, substitute, charges in, still going. Inches closer to the Warrington line. Trying to play the ball. The ball goes loose. Finally, Jackson falls on the ball. And offside. And Warrington have the free kick. Offside against Lee Jackson. Quickly taken by Tamati. And the pass knocked away. And has been picked up. So Warrington inside their own 25. Tamati's acting half-back. Hands it on to Bob Jackson. Once again, from the play, the ball goes himself. And in fact loses the ball. And the referee comes in. And talking to Kevin Tamati. And calls him over. And he's penalised for the punch in the tackle. And Hull have the free kick. So, Guy Schofield, a chance to pull 2 points back for Hull. And a poor kick there from Guy Schofield, puts it to the wide of the posts. And the score remains Hull FC 2, Warrington 10. So, a drop out from their own 25 for Warrington. Paul Bishop takes it. Andy Gascoigne's underneath it, takes it safely. Goes across field, still going. Finally brought down by Paul Cullen. Lee Jackson charging in is Neil Puckering. Lee Jackson once again sends it right on to Trevor Skerritt. Skerritt. Well tackled by Tamati. Phil Edmonds, Fred Okoye. Wayne Proctor. Lee Jackson acting half-back once again. Arnott. Sixth tackle this time then for Hull. Gascoigne onto Okoye. Back to Gascoigne, long pass out. Kemble linking up. Hands it on to Dane O'Hara. O'Hara well tackled by Mark Foster, and Cullen gets away. Gets it on now to Andy Gascoigne. He's got Paul Ford to beat. Well tackled by Paul Ford. Andy Gascoigne going for the corner. Paul Ford covered well and took him out nicely. But Dane O'Hara got out with 2 tackles to set that Hull attack up. But a nice saving tackle from Paul Ford. Gregory feeds, and a free kick to Warrington. Foot up in the scrum. So Paul Bishop once again safely puts the ball into touch on this near side. Tamati hands it on to Bob Jackson. Jackson goes in. Tamati hands it on to Les Boyd. Boyd. And the ball knocked back. Finally having to be picked up by Paul Ford. Ford straightens up and finds the break. Paul Ford away, he's got Paul Bishop up with him. Finds the pass nicely, Paul Ford. On to Paul Bishop, but his pass is taken by Kemble. And Kemble is finally tackled by Sanderson. From the play, the ball comes away. Wayne Proctor. Hull then back in possession. Neil Puckering. Lee Jackson will take this one for Hull. Trevor Skerritt. Well stopped by Paul Cullen and Andy Gregory. Lee Jackson onto Gascoigne. Gascoigne drops the ball but goes backwards. And well tackled by Paul Cullen. 6th tackle then for Hull. Still midway inside their own half. Jackson hands it on to Fred Okoye. Okoye faced by Cullen. Gets the ball away to Phil Edmonds. Edmonds, his pass is taken, loses the ball. Les Boyd now. Les Boyd looking for the gap. Knocks one man off, gets the ball away and nicely taken there. He's juggled with it. Gary Sanderson but held on to it well. This time it's Gregory. Gregory still going. Jinking about, hands it on to Ronnie Dwayne. Dwayne going for the corner, still going. And finally into touch. Mr. Bradley's flag goes into the air. And a scrum down over on that far side. Ronnie Dwayne is put into touch. So an important scrum for both sides as the scrum collapses. And Hull have the free kick. Once again, Gary Schofield puts the ball safely into touch. No, it doesn't. Yes. So the tap, Jackson. And the ball is lost. And Warrington back in possession. Ronnie Dwayne going across field, straightens up, gets the ball away. And Warrington back in possession. Inside the Hull 25, he goes on to Gregory. Gregory, dummies, cuts back inside, looking for the gaps away, hands the ball away. And Paul Cullen just stopped. Samity from the play, the ball goes himself. Finally Paul Bishop is caught. Samity once again to Gregory. Gregory reverse pass taken by Boyd. Boyd to Sanderson. Sanderson, his pass is taken by Jackson. Jackson straightens up. Still going, stops short of the Hull line. Samity will take this one. Sends it out left with Gregory to Cullen. Back to Gregory, looking for the gap once again. Gets the ball away. So 6th tackle this time. Bishop sets himself up for the drop goal. Hits the post, it rebounds. Paul Fuller's going for it. It bounces awkwardly and Hull back in possession. Lee Jackson will take this one for Hull. Hands it on to Fred Okoye. Okoye though well tackled. Hull then midway inside their own 25. Lee Jackson from the play, the ball goes himself. Okoye to Skerritt. And Bob Jackson tackles Carl Arnott with the assistance of Tamati on the 25-yard line. And this is a 6th tackle for Hull. It goes back to Fred Okoye. Okoye onto Gary Kemble. Kemble with the kick. Paul Ford takes it safely. Comes away with it. He's got Mark Foster to his left. And passes to him, Mark Foster. Paul Ford once again. Looking for the gap once more and gets away from a tackle again. Paul Ford, he's not got a fullback, he has it onto Tamati. Tamati now, he's got Les Boyd with him. Les Boyd powering to the posts. And he's just stopped short. But a nice break from Paul Ford. But Warrington now on the Hull line, Tamati. Tamati onto Paul Bishop. Bishop with the pass. Taken by Roy Dwayne. And he's there. And Warrington with the try, and it's Mark Foster who comes up with the ball, and it's Mark Foster who scores Warrington's 3rd try. And Mark Foster injured.
Try scorer for Warrington, number 5, Mark Foster.
Mark Foster injured after crashing over for Warrington's 3rd try. And Warrington and Hull about to make substitutions. And for Warrington, Les Boyd leaves the field to be replaced by Tom Gittins. And Les Boyd leaves the field. Meanwhile, Paul Bishop kicks his second goal. And Lee Crooks for Hull returns, and off goes Neil Puckering. So it's Hull 2, Warrington 16. And Neil Puckering looks in some pain in the middle of the field, having to be helped from the field.
And a substitution for Warrington, number 15, Tommy Gittins, on the break, Les Boyd.
So Neil Puckering being helped from the field. Getting a good round of applause from the Hull contingent. But the score is Hull FC 2, Warrington 16. And that kick-off is taken safely by the try scorer, Matt Foster. Goes across field. Tamati hands it on to substitute Tommy Gittins. Tamati once more. This time it's Gregory. Sanderson looking for the gap once more. Just couldn't get the ball away to Mark Roberts. Once again, Tamati hands it on to Gregory. Gregory looking for the gap once more and finds it again. Gregory's away, he's got players with him, still going, cuts it back inside to Gittins. Gittins on to Paul Bishop. Bishop though, well tackled. 6 tackle though for Warrington. Tamati with the kick. It's a good one. Hangs in the air and Lee Crooks takes it. Jackson hands it on to Wayne Proctor. Proctor's stopped on the 25-yard line by Paul Cullen and Paul Bishop. Out to Lee Crooks. Crooks can't hold it and Warrington back in possession with Tommy Gittins. Tamati sends it left. Sanderson. So Warrington on that far side now on the attack. Tamati sends it on to Bishop. Bishop to Gregory. Gregory onto Mark Roberts coming in on the burst. But just couldn't get his pass away. This time it's Paul Ford onto Gittins. Gittins onto Paul Bishop. Bishop looking for the gap, gets it away to Sanderson. Sanderson going for the line. Stopped though by Lee Crooks. 6 tackle then for Warrington. It goes back to Bishop, lines himself up for the drop goal once again. And it's there.
Drop goal for Warrington, number 6, Paul Bishop.
So Matt Foster leaves the field to be replaced by Steve Peters, as Warrington now leading Hull by 17 points to 2.
Substitution for Warrington to number 14, Steve Peters, to number 5, Matt Foster.
So Schofield restarts. It looks a good kick, and it is. And a scrum down midway inside the Warrington 25. Hull FC 2, Warrington 17. And Hull about to make a substitution. James Lulawai comes on. And Lee Jackson leaves the field. Gregory feeds. Warrington in possession. Gregory goes by side, but the referee calls him back. So Gregory puts the ball in once again. Lee in possession. Hull. Gascoigne. Fred Okoye hands it on to Dean O'Hara. O'Hara on to Lulawai. Lulawai well tackled though by Paul Bishop. Fred Okoye once more. Sends it out to Lee Crooks. Crooks, a long pass. And intercepted by Brian Carbett. Carbett trying to get away from the tackles. Warrington back in possession. This time it goes on to Dwayne. Samuelson front to play the ball to Tommy Gittins. Gittins looks for the gap and finds it, but his ankle's just clipped by Phil Edmonds. Gregory once again. Long pass on to Mark Roberts. Bishop to Gregory. Gregory once more, on to Paul Cullen. Cullen though. Gregory once again, with the kick. Comes off the Hull player, Andy Gascoigne. So we're scrunting down a couple of yards inside the Hull half. Gregory to feed. Comes out on the Hull side with Gascoigne. Gascoigne stopped by Gregory. Fred Okoye this time, hands it on to Crooks. Crooks is stopped by Roberts and Jackson. Fred Okoye once again sends it right on to Skerritt. Skerritt finds the gap, but no support coming up on his left-hand side. Okoye. Arnott. Fred Okoye once again, a long pass out. Gascoigne to Crooks. Crooks onto, well taken by Vass, onto O'Hara. O'Hara's now got space. Sanderson's going back, misses him. Cullen takes him. And the referee's in. And the referee calls over Paul Cullen for that alleged high tackle on Dane O'Hara. Gives Hull the free kick. Okoye takes it onto Skerritt. Skerritt moves in. This time, Arnott goes to the line and is in. But just stopped inches short. Hull now pressing on the Warrington line. Fred Okoye, well tackled, but offside against Bob Jackson. They take a quick tap. Okoye, once again he's stopped inches from the line, but this time the referee gives it. And Fred Okoye scores Hull's first try of the game.
Choice for goal number 6, Fred Okoye. Here is a message for Mr. Keith McLaughlin. Would Keith McLaughlin please meet Paul Overman by the ticket office? Thank you very much.
So Gary Schofield will try and pull a further 2 points back for Hull. And safely through. Makes the score Hull FC 8, Warrington 17. So Paul Bishop to restart. Left-footed. Phil Edmonds takes it safely. Andy Gascoigne this time. Has it on to Chris Arnott. Arnott well tackled over by Gittins. Wayne Proctor this time. Takes place out of the Warrington half, finds the break. And Hull now putting the pressure on after that try. Gascoigne onto Crooks. Crooks, a nice pass, it goes loose. Valley picked up by Kemble. Kemble still going, gets the ball away to O'Hara. O'Hara can't take it and the ball goes into touch. And that will be a scrum down. So Gregory puts the ball in, and he'll have to do it all over again. Referee not happy with the scrum. And Warrington in possession. And he cuts inside for the cutting, and Gregory's away. He hands it on to Peters. Peters, he's juggling with it. I just couldn't take it. The pass from Gregory as he was away, just not taken by Steve Peters. And that will be another scrum down. So Gascoigne to put the ball in again. And he's penalised for feeding. And Warrington have the free kick. Bishop then. Another good kick from Paul Bishop. So quarter of an hour remains of the match. As Tamati takes the tap, hands it on to Tom Gittins. Tamati once more. This time Jackson charging towards the Hull line. And the referee gives the knock on. And a scrum down. Gascoigne feeds. And Hull in possession. But well tackled by Billy McGinty. Fred Okoye hands it on to Luluai. Luluai though, stopped by Sanderson and Mark Roberts. Gascoigne once again. Arnott pushed back by Jackson and Tamati. Okoye. Arnott. Fred Okoye once more, hands it on to Phil Edmonds. Edmonds makes good ground before he's brought down. Okoye out to Gascoigne, on to Crooks. Nicely taken by Schofield, hands it on to Vass, well tackled by Steve Peters and Paul Cullen. Sixth tackle for Hull. Gascoigne on to Crooks. Crooks, well tackled by Paul Cullen, and Warrington back in possession. Sanderson comes up with it. Cullen hands it on to Tamati. Tamati knocks off one man. Cullen to Jackson. Tamati once more to Gregory. Gregory on to Gittins. Gittins has got the gap, but can't get the ball away. Goes left this time. Gregory still going, looking for the gap, hands over. Another opportunist try from Andy Gregory. Once again, beautifully architected by himself. Dummage saw the gap and went over to the right of the posts to make the score Hull 8, Warrington 21.
Warrington number 7, Andy Gregory.
So Paul Bishop. With a fairly easy kick. He's kicked 2 so far, plus a drop goal. And that's his 3rd goal.
Conversion for Warrington number 6, Paul Bishop.
And Warrington make another substitution. Tamati goes off, and Les Boyd returns to the game. Hull FC 8, Warrington 23. Schofield restarts. Billy McGinty takes it safely. Comes away with it, clears his 25 before he's brought down by Fred Okoye and Wayne Proctor. Sanderson hands it on to Steve Peters. Gregory once more onto Les Boyd. Gregory to Bishop. Bishop back to Gittins. Gittins gets away from one tackle onto Boyd. Boyd to Gregory. Gray looks for the gap, not getting, finds it. Gets past two tackles and another still going. Hands it on to McGinty. Was it another good run from Andy Gregory? Gregory once again. Hands it on to Gittins. Gittins back to Les Boyd. Boyd on to Sanderson. 6th tackle for Warrington. Paul Ford leaves this one to Steve Peters. Peters. Bishop with a drop goal attempt. This time it goes wide. Matt Roberts is charging in. Well taken by Brand. Michael Brand comes away with the ball. Well tackled by Gary Sanderson. Fred Okoye goes himself. Stopped though by Gittins. And Fred Okoye and Tom Gittins have a little argument. And the free kick goes to Hull against Tommy Gittins. As Hull making a substitution. Gascoigne goes off and Lee Jackson returns. Trevor Skerritt. Well stopped though by Jackson. Lee Jackson for Hull. Arnott, crunching tackle from Les Boyd. Jackson once again, Phil Edmonds. Once again, Les Boyd in the tackle. This time it goes on to Lee Crooks. Crooks, Fred Okoye. And Warrington given the free kick. He penalises Phil Edmonds. And Paul Bishop comes across. And once again puts the ball safely into touch. So Gregory takes the tap, hands it on to Bob Jackson. Gregory once more to Les Boyd. He goes over his head to Gittins. Gittins onto Bishop. But Bishop caught in possession. 5 minutes remain. Gittins. A long pass. Well taken by Steve Peters. Peters back to Gittins. Gittins onto Gregory. Slip pass out to Sanderson. And the referee adjudged the pass to be forward. And a scrum down. Hull in possession, Luluai. On to Vass. Vass though well tackled by McGinty. Proctor. Jackson once again. Skerritt straightens up, goes himself. Well tackled low by Jackson. This time it goes on to Fred Okoye. Okoye to Crooks. Crooks, and he's found the gap. He's got Luluai with him. Passes it to him, and Luluai will go to the posts and scores. Luluai goes over for Hull's second try. Under the posts.
Try scoring now, number 14 to change the line.
So Gary Schofield in front of the posts. And an easy kick.
Version for half. Gary Schofield.
Makes the score Hull 14, Warrington 23.
come on, man.
So, Paul Bishop will restart. Gregory holds the ball for him. Bishop restarts. And a knock on from Chris Arnott. So another scrum down. Gregory puts the ball in, but he'll have to do it again. Referee not satisfied with the scrum. So Gregory feeds and is penalised. So Schofield puts the ball safely into touch once again. Jackson hands it on to Skerritt. Skerritt though meets Les Boyd. Jackson once again. Chris Arnott onto Lilloway. Good tackle there from Gary Sanderson. In fact, it was McGinty. Good tackle there from McGinty. And the pass is a loose one. Picked up by Kemble. Wayne propped up. Lulawai once more. Long pass on to Crooks. Crooks. And Vass can't take it. And a knock on. Knock on by Chris Vass as the whole man of the match. I'll judge to be their second row man, Carl Arnott. But scrum down on the halfway line. Hull FC 14, Warrington 23. Gregory feeds and Hull in possession. Fred Okoye onto Lulawai. Lulawai and Kemble can't take the pass. And knocks the ball on for another scrum down. Gregory puts the ball in once more, and this time Warrington in possession. Gregory goes blindside, looks for the gap once more, finally stopped by Lulawai. Paul Bishop has it on to Tommy Gittins. Gittins takes play inside the whole half. Gregory once again. Sanderson. Gregory's acting halfback. Says it on to McGinty. Jackson to Gregory, on to Bishop. Bishop, Mark Roberts. He's caught in possession by Phil Edmonds and he's pushed back. So 6 tackle this time for Warrington. Gregory. And the kick from Paul Ford is a good one. So Fred Okoye puts the ball in. Puts it in again and is penalised for feeding. So Paul Bishop takes this penalty and a poor kick taken by Michael Brand. Gives Hull possession once again. Jackson onto Phil Edmonds and Phil Edmonds escapes one tackle, but Warrington are judged to be offside. Schofield puts the ball into touch. Now into the final minute. Hull FC 14, Warrington 23. Trevor Skerritt. And good run there from Skerritt. Hull mounting one final attack. Lee Crooks. Lee Crooks though held by Gittins and Boyd. Fred Okoye onto Phil Edmonds. Edmonds gets the ball away back to Okoye, but he's well tackled. Jackson once again onto Crooks. Crooks gets the ball away. Now Wayne Proctor onto Luluai. And Luluai will go in for his second. So in injury time, Hull pull the scores closer.
Try score now, number 14, James Luluai.
Makes the score Hull FC 18, Warrington 23. And perhaps still this game in Hull's reach as Gary Schofield pops the ball over.
First to the Hull, Gary Schofield.
And Hull now, in fact, there goes the final hooter. The final score is Hull 20, Warrington 23. Hull scoring that final try in the last seconds of the game. Warrington tries from Mark Foster, Andy Gregory, Les Boyd and Matt Roberts. 3 goals from Paul Bishop and a drop goal. Hull, Gary Schofield kicked 4 goals. A try from Fred Okoye, 2 tries from James Luluai. So from the Boulevard, the final score here, Hull 20, Warrington 23. I'll see you Tuesday. Right. See you Tuesday.
See ya.